Before we go any further with anything else in class, I need to tell you about an analogy that I constantly use in my classes to help people better understand how to give speeches. And this is what I'm dealing with in the background as I try to do this. Good thing I'm an actress. Do it again, Robert, so they can see what you're trying to do. My husband is making faces at me in the background. Anyway, this analogy is going to benefit him because he's going to be the one that gets to eat this after I'm done. Okay, I need you to better understand what speeches look like by comparing it to something that you probably already understand. I hope you already understand, and that is a sandwich. A speech is an awful lot like a sandwich. Okay? I know you've probably heard the, I don't know whether it's true or not, the old legend of how the sandwich started. That some old king in some country was tired of eating meat with his hands and then bread in another hand while he was playing cards. And he finally came up with this great idea to invent the sandwich by putting meat in between slices of bread. Again, I don't know whether it's true, don't verify that. It might be an urban legend. But the whole brilliance of a sandwich is the idea that it's so many different tastes in a very easy to handle package. And that's exactly what your speech is going to be like. So when I am done making this sandwich, the person who's going to benefit from this, my audience, is going to be my husband. So I'm going to package the stuff in this sandwich in a way that I know he's going to enjoy it, in a way that I know he's going to be able to digest it and easily handle it, just like you should be constructing your speech in a way that your audience is going to be able to understand it and to digest it, etc. Okay, so how do we start this? First of all, the main purpose of the sandwich is the meat, right? Let's just pretend none of you are vegetarians. I'm not sure if you are, but for all sandwiches, you may notice, they're titled by the meat. You have a turkey sandwich. You have a bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich. Notice the bacon comes first. You have a, as my dog is eating off of dishes in the background, you have a ham sandwich, and you have a roast beef sandwich. So the whole purpose of the sandwich, really, the main point, is the meat. Okay? My husband happens to like a lot of meat on the sandwich, so he is going to get one. Okay, they're sort of falling apart, but 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go with 5, since those are sort of
6.
He said 6. Okay, so we'll do 6, but technically you're not supposed to have 6. We'll just pretend it's 6. 5 pieces of meat for his sandwich, okay? Without this, there really wouldn't be a purpose to the sandwich. To him, he would argue that it's a salad, okay? So the main points of your speech are sort of akin to the meat in the sandwich. When you're putting together your sandwich, you can't have too many pieces of meat. It makes it difficult to handle. Also, you don't just want one piece of meat because then it's hardly worth it, right? In a sandwich, you probably want a few slices of meat. Just like with your speech, you're going to discover that the magic number of main points, because that's what this is the body of your speech, the main points, the magic number is 2 to 5. You want to package your main points to between 2 and 5 main ideas to support your thesis. So the meat of the sandwich is the main points of your speech. But hopefully none of you out there just like meat and bread, okay? That's my oldest daughter, but most of the time people don't really like sandwiches like that. What really makes a sandwich interesting, okay? It's not just meat and bread, right? And we're gonna get to the bread in a minute. But what makes a sandwich interesting is all of the condiments that go with it. Cheese, in this case Swiss, maybe some bell pepper, some avocado, which is actually going to be in the form of guacamole today, maybe some onion, most definitely some mustard and some mayonnaise, right? And the kicker, homegrown alfalfa sprouts. Those are the things that actually make the sandwich good and interesting. Meat is good, it's the purpose, but the stuff that really makes it fun and the brilliance of it is all of the supporting stuff that accompanies the flavor of the meat. Okay, so like the meat in your sandwich being the main points, the supporting material that you put around and in between the meat in your sandwich is the condiments, okay, in your speech. Okay, so main points, meat. Supporting material, condiments. All right, but you cannot just hand an audience a bunch of main points and a bunch of supporting material. It needs to be packaged nicely. Remember the king trying to eat his meat and bread in 2 hands, realizing he couldn't do it. He put the 2 together. Okay. Enter your introduction and your conclusion. In your intro and your conclusion, those serve as bookends for your speech that help give your audience a nice little package of information so they can see where the speech begins and where the speech ends, just like for your sandwich, right? You have nice little bookends for all of the good stuff that goes in the speech. All right, let's review one more time before I put this together. You've got the main points, that is the meat of your sandwich. You've got the supporting material, which is the condiments of your sandwich. And you have the introduction and the conclusion, which are the bread of your sandwich. Now, to give you a little inkling of how sometimes these sandwiches, these speeches, can actually get really big, right? And when these sandwiches, or these speeches, get really big, it kind of makes it hard to hold it all together, all right? 1 second. So sometimes, not sometimes in speeches, but sometimes with sandwiches, you may notice, especially with the big ones, that when you have all of your stuff together, you might need some toothpicks to help hold it all in place. Can you see the visual of the toothpick going through everything, right? To hold all of the pieces together. Those toothpicks in your speech are actually transitions. Transitions are nice little words and phrases and sentences that help the speech move from intro to all of the main points and the supporting material in the speech in through your conclusion. It serves as the glue that holds it all together. Okay, hold that thought. And once you've put all those pieces together through the form of your outline and then of course actually delivering your speech, you have this wonderfully packaged piece, right? That has your introduction, that has your transitions, that has your main points, that is your meat, as well as all the good supporting material that accompanies the meat in between, as well as this nicely packaged conclusion. And you're able to give your final speech product to your audience in a way that they will enjoy it. So now taste my speech, my sandwich, and see if you like it.
That's a good speech.
Okay, good. So it worked. So now you know my speech sandwich analogy. You're going to hear me refer to that at least for the next couple of slideshow lectures.